What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful, delicious, smoky, sticky, crispy, tender, amazing smoked General Tso chicken wings. Coming up. This is some chicken. Pat them dry. And what I got here is some whole chicken wings from the grocery store, nothing too fancy here. And I feel like at this point, whenever I make a chicken wing video, I'm required to say that it's always a good idea to pick up the whole wing instead of the ones that are already pre-cut. That's for a few reasons. One, it's kind of fun to break these down. Helps build some good knife skills. Two, it's incredibly easy. Just find the joint, snip them apart, nothing to it. And another reason is a lot of times at the grocery store, if you get the ones that are pre-broken down, you're gonna run into a lot more broken bones because whoever's breaking them down at the factory or out back is just trying to get through it as fast as possible. So they're a lot more likely to miss and break some bones and make some sharp shards in there that no one wants to see. So you get a little bit better quality this way. But the main reason I like to do this is one, because it's a lot cheaper, but also because we get all these wing tips. And you can cook those up if you like, but I like to have them on hand for making chicken stock because they are absolutely perfect for making stock. And I go through a lot of chicken stock around here, and it only takes a few minutes. Just like that, all broken down, no time at all. Get these wing tips out of here, pop these in the freezer for the next time I need them for making a batch of stock. As for the rest of these, let's get them seasoned up. And to do that, we're gonna keep it pretty simple, starting with a nice layer of some diamond crystal kosher salt, some 16 mesh black pepper, and some granulated garlic, all three of which we sell at chudsbbq.com. We even sell them in a 3-pack. By the way, if you haven't checked out our online store yet, highly recommend it. A lot more than just our rubs and merch and stuff like that. We sell a lot of the essential stuff that I use all the time in the kitchen. And that way you can use exactly what I'm using to help recreate these videos at home. Beautiful. Pack that in. Go ahead and flip these all over so the presentation side is up, and repeat the process. And of course, you could use any barbecue rub you like at this stage as well, but most of the heavy lifting in terms of flavor is gonna come from the sauce, so really we're just trying to build those layers of flavor. And you can't go wrong with a good old classic SPG. I do love putting garlic powder on chicken, especially on the smoker. It really helps with the color. And obviously, it tastes really good. Beautiful, all rubbed down, looking very nice. So we're gonna let that salt kind of penetrate the meat for a little bit because we gotta fire up the pit. Those chicken wings might be General Tso, but that boot snake is a general pain in my butt. And on the pit we go. Woo, toasty in there. Got the old offset fired up with a nice hot post oak fire. I transferred these all to a wire rack for easy transport, and also because it's a lot easier than cleaning my grill grates as often as I should. And we're gonna park these nice and close right up front, and we're gonna cook these hot and fast with as much convection as possible. And it's been a really long time since I cooked wings on the old offset here. You know, in order, I'd say deep fried is the best way to cook wings, followed by the Chud box, so you get that direct heat flavor and all that crispy skin. Third favorite method would probably be the offset. Then after that would probably be pellet grill, charcoal grill, oven, microwave, tartare. But the offset does make incredibly good wings when done correctly. You know, right now we're cooking at like 300, 325. Right now we got both doors open. You know, the vents are wide open, the door is wide open. So we're getting a lot of really quick, clean moving air going through this thing. Really clean smoke as well. So they're not gonna be overly smoky. And essentially it's just a wood powered air fryer at this point. So it works really well for getting crispy skin. And that light smoky flavor, they're very good. But again, it's been years since I've done it. Feels good though. But the game plan here is to cook these hot and fast right around that 325 mark, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Not too concerned about it, but we don't want to burn them, so not too hot. And keep that nice blue smoke rolling, full convection, hot air running over these wings, giving us some nice crispy skin and adding some lovely smoke flavor, and it probably shouldn't take too long, maybe an hour or so, but we'll check back in on these in a little bit. But while those cook away, let's go ahead and get our sauce made up. And to get our sauce started, I'm going to start out by seasoning this wok because I let a bunch of water sit in it last time I used it. So throwing some oil in there, get that nice and hot just to season this thing up a little bit. Get that all around. And once that's ripping hot and smoking a little bit, I'm going to discard this. Beautiful, looking nice and shiny. So now we'll go in with a little bit more oil. And once that's nice and hot, we'll go in with our ginger, as well as the whites from our scallions, and let those cook down for a minute or so. And once that's softened up a little bit, in we go with our garlic, and cook that for another minute or two. And my God, it smells so good already. And once we're just starting to get a little bit of color on that, we can go in with everything else, including some chicken stock that I made with wingtips, some soy sauce, some Shaoxing cooking wine, some rice wine vinegar, some sesame oil, some chilies, that's chili de arbol for me, and of course, some sugar. Way too much sugar. And get that all mixed together. And once that comes up to a simmer, we're gonna go in with some cornstarch slurry. Just some cornstarch and some water, which is gonna help thicken this up. Now I'm gonna let it reduce for a couple minutes to concentrate all the flavors and make sure that everything is dissolved and all the flavors come out of those chilies. And as soon as that comes up to a boil, that cornstarch will kind of activate and this will get real nice and thick. We'll start caramelizing those sugars, which will help darken the color a little bit. But for now, I'm gonna set this aside, let it cool down a little bit, give it a little taste, see if it needs any more soy sauce or anything like that. While we check back in on the wings. We are about 30 minutes into this cook and they're looking really nice, starting to get some good color going on. Already starting to look nice and crispy. But to make sure that these get extra crispy, we're gonna hit them with some sprayable duck fat. Love this stuff. Also sold at chudsbbq.com. And much like an air fryer, just a little bit of oil on the outside of your food with all that convective heat will mimic a deep fryer. So probably another 20, 30 on these. We are like an hour 20, maybe an hour 30 into this cook, and these wings are looking so good. Definitely looking nice and crispy. I mean, look at the color of those. They are perfect. I did come and flip this rack around, probably about 30 minutes or so, just to get this back row a little closer to the heat to get that nice color, and I've been spraying them every 15 minutes or so, maybe 10, just to keep them coated and get these nice and crispy. But once they are looking crispy and we got the color we like, I know these are probably rocking like 200 degrees internal, so off the pit they come. But that is a good looking crispy wing to me, folks. Feeling nice and tender. I didn't flip these over at any point because we got pretty good bottom and top heat this close up in the pit, but that is a good looking wing to me. So off they come. I'm excited for wing night. I tell you what, one more quick close-up of these wings, but yeah, I know I was saying I prefer Chud box wings, but it's hard to beat the crispiness and convenience and ease of using an offset. You know, you could cook so many wings in this style, and it's very little maintenance. Fire management is a lot easier, and they're looking crispy. Meanwhile, I got our sauce back up to a boil, so it is nice and hot, and in we go with our beautiful smoky chicken wings. I mean, these look good enough to eat already, but this can only make them even better. And we'll give those a nice toss. Careful though, this stuff is ridiculously hot, especially with all the gelatin and the sugar in there. Don't want to get that on you. Maybe you can fit a few more in there. The smell is incredible. The soy sauce, the ginger, and the garlic with the smoky chicken. Pretty convenient saucing wings in a wok. Might have to start just doing this with regular chicken wings, because what doesn't look good about that? And after being tossed, we're gonna let these cool down because they are ripping hot, but we're gonna top these off with some sesame seeds for garnish and a little extra flavor. Ah, beautiful. And then some of our green onions from earlier as well. Oh, that's so pretty. Add a little freshness. And there they are, folks, in all their glory. We got ourselves some beautiful, smoky, crispy, tender, juicy, sticky, amazing General Tso chicken wings. Let's see how they came out. Right off the bat, I am loving how these are looking, how that sauce is really thick and kind of clinging on to there. Smelling good. Let's see how they came out. Ooh, that's a fantastic wing right there, folks. Right off the bat, the mouthfeel from that sauce is just so intense. It's so thick from all the gelatin in that chicken stock, but also that cornstarch slurry, obviously, but it's incredibly flavorful. It almost reminds me of the same consistency of like the Korean fried chicken sauces that I get up at H Mart. And especially for a non-breaded wing, the fact that it's clinging on there so well. Pretty cool. Still crunchy too. Clean bone. Perfect sweetness on there. Still savory, but the sweet savory balance is really nice. Oh, I like that. Done. I will say though, that has got a pretty significant kick to it. Definitely spicy. I threw a few extra chili de arbol in there because it's a wing. I wanted it to have a little more heat to it, but that is reaching the limits. Really good though, but whew, you may want to cut down on that if you're making these for children or something. Kind of like it though. I like a spicy wing. Bone one, bone two. Go for a flat, shall we? Sauce is so good. This really is a good sauce though, you know. I've definitely had General Tso that's a lot sweeter than this, but this one's really balanced. You know, it's definitely sweet and salty. You got that umami in the background from the soy sauce. Definitely got a kick to it, but really, that is fantastic. And you gotta love a wing that's got enough sauce on it that you don't need a dip to go with it, you know what I mean? I don't even know what I'd pair this with. Maybe a yogurt-based sauce or something like that. Probably not blue cheese or ranch though, but I'm not gonna stop. So impossibly tender too. So meaty. Chili de Arbol, I've underestimated you yet again. I'm gonna eat all of these, I don't care. But before we devour all of these off camera, I think it is time for the official taste test. Oh. Yeah. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic smoked General Tso chicken wings. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, I think most of the time, whenever I'm cooking chicken wings, I'm a classic buffalo blue cheese kind of guy, but my second favorite is definitely something Asian, like a honey sriracha or something along those lines, where you get that sweet heat balance and that kind of sticky situation. And this recipe is definitely my new go-to in that regard, because that checked all the boxes, and it was super easy to make too, you know? I think we're a little under 2 hours from start to finish, you know, opening the pack, making the sauce, firing up the pit, all that, to eating. Pretty quick process, makes for a great weeknight dinner, and definitely something I'll be doing again very soon. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!